What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, or welcome for the first time to Crowdfunding Friday, where we're going to pick out a few games and talk about them. Spend just a few minutes on each page. I will link in the description each of the game pages, campaign pages, so you can go and explore them some more in depth. Definitely recommend, at a minimum, go and doing your research, figure out if it's a game for you or not. Maybe you'll find something else as you're doing your research. But let's jump right into it and see what we have for our first game. All right, the first game we're going to be looking at is actually one that is coming up, so it's not out yet. The campaign is not live. This was part of GameFound's Spring Feast that they did, where they talked about a bunch of different games. This is Umbral Knights by Borogov Games. Not super familiar with the developer, but the game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. 1 to 4 players, 90-minute playtime, it says. If you're a backer, so if you back during the campaign, specifically the Knights Deluxe core box, then you'll get this fancy Valkyrian, the Heart of Ruin boss miniature, as a free backer gift. So that looks pretty neat. 100 millimeters, yeah, 100 millimeter base miniature. So it's going to be a big old chunky guy. They've got a lot of stuff out on their page already. So if you want to see some more information about it, definitely go through, dig through, see all the different items they have. But journey through the cursed lands of Ebonvale. Venture alone or alongside kindred souls into a realm of shadow and ruin. Cooperative scenario-based dungeon crawler set in a cursed world between life and death. Definitely seems like just, a unique environment, kind of. They got a few play mechanics, too, that we'll get to here in a second that also show why it's different from everything else. But again, 1 to 4, 60 to 90 minutes, 14 plus dice game. It'll make your head explode, apparently, so be careful of that. And then it does use card system as well. We were not chosen, we were broken. In death, a voice found us, a whisper in the dark that offered no peace, no heaven, no escape. Until that day, we are the Umbral Knights. So it sounds like you are knights that have passed and then been called back in order to defeat an evil, most likely. How it's unique and why you should back now. This is that innovative scale system, so it's got these coins. I've not seen this before. Maybe there's a game out there that's done something similar. If there is, let me know in the comments what it is. But basically, you have your action chips as a base for your skill, and then you can link them up to the number of times that your base chip says. So like here, if this is your bottom chip, you could stack 1 chip on top of it. You can see there's 2s and 3s. I'm going to be interested to see how this mechanic actually works. It seems interesting. It seems pretty intuitive, but actually in practice, seeing how it goes is going to be, I think, the piece that'll really make or break it. They've apparently got a new attribute system with soul scaling, determining how your attributes enhance your weapons, equipment, and abilities. The higher your relevant attributes, the more powerful the associated gear and skills become. And then they've got some deluxe upgrades, obviously. Fast teardown and play, that's always nice. It does look like they've got a pretty good storage solution as well. Kind of player storage boards as you're playing the game to hold everything you need. Hopefully that holds true. Again, I think one of the big complaints for any large game, obviously, is when it takes you forever to set everything up, or if you have to go out and get something after the fact in order to hold everything and make it nice and neat. But it looks like here their intent is kind of include that from the start with the deluxe edition, obviously. Through game trays, which they always make really, really good material. Heavy action chips, more like, solid, weighty poker style tokens. So instead of just having, I'm assuming the standard ones will probably be just standard plastic. These are going to be more of a heavyweight poker with a nice little storage box, which would be nice. And you've got several knights that you'll be able to choose from. The Death Knight. Before becoming the Death Knight, Morden was just a starving farmer. He traded his plow for an axe, survived through looting and theft. And then the Moon Knight, Jamie Tyrell. Sorry, it's hard for me to read that. I love the script. The way the script is for this is obviously very much in theme, but it is a little hard to read from so far away. I could move closer, but then you'd have to stare really closely at my face, and nobody wants that. Was no hero, a thief and betrayer. When war came, he sealed desperate refugees in the tunnels beneath the city, dooming them all, including Marla, the street child who once called him uncle. So sounds like he's got some history to deal with as well. The Sun Knight, Miss Maya Gunsel, never sought glory, only faith. And then I think this is the last one, the Blood Knight, Sir Alistair Muriel, once a loyal knight of a fallen kingdom, followed his king into a war that drowned the land in blood. They've also got different monsters, and then apparently every monster has access to 3 attack decks out of 6 unique types. And you can see up here, it'll denote what they can attack from. Again, I think that'll add some nice variability to the game, which should be nice. And then they do have a bunch of videos here at the bottom of the page. Some, setup, breakdown, talks a little bit of XP and attributes, starting items, points of interest and interactions, and they are going to be uploading more. So definitely want to check out the videos they've already got listed, and then see what you think. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, for now, this is just a follow. It's an upcoming game. I don't recall exactly when it's going to launch. But let me know in the comments, what do you think just based off this back pass or just a follow for now, which typically was what it's going to be for upcoming games. All right, the next game we're going to talk about is Bloodwork, The Reckoning. This is coming from iDemo Games. This is active right now, active campaign. They actually launched an initial campaign last year, and then due to a number of reasons, nothing against the company, nothing against the game, they realized they had some things they wanted to go back and refine and change up a little bit, especially from a lot of feedback from the community. So they kind of canceled that pledge, and then they've come back now with Bloodwork, The Reckoning, making it bigger, better, exactly what they want it to be. One of the nice things, and it talks about this on the page, but I'll highlight it here, they've actually already completed the miniature molds. That's the word I'm looking for. The miniature molds. So they're way ahead of schedule of where they would typically be. That kind of just, they did that to show that they're serious about the campaign. They're serious about delivering in a timely manner. So it's a fantasy co-op board game, 1 to 4 players. You lead a party of guild mercenaries through branching dual faction campaign of perilous journeys and tactical battles. There is going to be a narrative aspect to this. Not as heavy as like an Oathsworn, from what they've said, but still in-depth enough to where you feel like you're really learning about the background of the world and getting your money's worth, obviously. You're a mercenary spilling blood for coin in a collapsing world where every choice has a cost. Will the coin outweigh your soul? Again, a beautiful looking game, 90 minutes per mission, 50, 60 hour playtime, 1 to 4 players, 36 plus missions. There is a really nice, we're going to jump down to, we'll look at this first. Free live campaign expansion. So if you back during the live campaign, you'll receive the Rogue Mercenary expansion for free. And then some of the features, there's a dual faction campaign. So it sounds like you'll actually choose your allegiance, which then changes how the story will progress. And it almost sounds like you'll want to explore both factions in order to see how the missions get altered, what changes for the enemies, how the moral framing of the actual narrative story plays out. And yeah, as it says, to get the full truth of Marana, which is the world this game takes place in. It sounds like you're going to want to play both. Responsive battle system, they utilize a fate deck, so that it's kind of hopefully changing as you're carrying out the combat versus the enemies and the boss. Psychological state mechanics, so there's a mood deck where they're actually going to, as you're going along and as things impact you, it's going to have some sort of an effect where, it can instill fear, hope, something else on you that then changes the play of the game. They also have a persistent injury system, which is going to affect how further missions go on down the way. World-altering corruption, premium narrative experience, like we talked about, story filled with mystery, tragedy, and shifting troops. The miniatures look just phenomenal so far, what they've shown. And actually with the first campaign, they did a little painting contest, which I took part in. They're doing it again on this one. I'm not doing it this time, but I got a few of the minis to paint, and I actually still have them. You can't see them. They're up on a shelf up there, but they're just beautiful quality, really just amazing, look great. And again, the final PVC sample is already showcased. Manufacturing is ahead of schedule, so they're getting ahead of the game, which is nice. They do list out the different pledges. They kept it really simple this time: a core box and a deluxe edition. They are doing stretch goals. There's some add-ons you can do. I would definitely use the little compare function to make sure you're not adding something that is already included in like the deluxe. As far as gameplay goes, excuse me, you take contracts basically, which then embark on perilous journeys that could reward you or cause damage, inflict deeper scars. Do you feel lucky, Merc? Well, do you? Unique overland map, choose your path. Event maps is what you're kind of working through as you go through the narrative, and then you'll be tasked with completing a wide range of missions. They've released so much material in this. I'm actually in the description. I'll link the original campaign so that you can kind of see really just the care that they took into making this game. And then obviously for this campaign right now, so that you can read all the updates, check everything out, see what you think of it. I definitely think this is going to be a great game. Right now, I'm just following this. It's going for another week, I believe. Let's go back to the top and double check. And then we'll look at the miniatures again real quick, just to kind of show off the beautiful work they've done there. 6 days left. So from when y'all see this, I think Wednesday of next week, the 6th. I think around then it's going to be ending. I'm sure they'll have a late pledge, as most campaigns do. But, check it out. See if it's a game for you. I do think it's going to be a beautiful game. For me, there's just a lot of games out right now, and you can't back everything. But this is one that, we'll see. We'll see. It's one I want to back. I'll put it that way. This is one I really, really want to back. I still might before the end of it. And here you go. You can kind of see they have a bunch of the miniatures that are showcased, and you can see through what they have. But beautiful game, beautiful design. I think it's going to be a really, really fun experience. But check it out. Let me know what you think. Is this a pass, just to follow and then see what happens in the late pledge? I will say, obviously, the more backing they get during the pledge, the more stretch goals they'll get. But do what's best for you. At least go give them a check. At least go check them out and give it a follow to see kind of what's going on as it leads up to the final days. So, Bloodwork: The Reckoning. I definitely think this is one to check out. All right, the next one probably needs no introduction. Tamashii: The Final Amendment. This is coming at you from Awakened Realms. This is now the third video I've made this week that talks about something Awakened Realm related. Awakened Realms has put out so many games. This is actually the follow-up to, I'm forgetting the name, Tamashii Chronicle of Ascend was the original game. So this is a standalone sequel to that cyberpunk game. If you know board games, you know Awakened Realms. They do everything great. I've got several of the games. I've got all the Nemesis games up here. Oh, I don't know how to move my finger. And then Grim Coven up there. And then I actually just received Lands of Evershade this week as well, which I'm super excited for. I put out some videos earlier in the week, so if you haven't checked those out, go check them out to see kind of the quality of the materials they present. But this is Tamashii: The Final Amendment. 1 to 4 players set in a unique universe of post-apocalyptic cyberpunk ruled by AI. Lots of materials that come through it. Their miniatures are always top-notch. One of the things they're known for. You can also just see there's going to be a lot of items, boards, tokens, cards, really just your standard Awakened Realms game. If you played the original Tamashii, I don't know how to pronounce that. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm going to say Tamashii from now on. Tamashii, then you probably know whether you like it or not. But this is going to add some additional, styles of bodies, different enemies, new bosses. The great thing about Awakened Realms is every 2 days they have a stretch goal, and then they have some monetary stretch goals as well. So you're unlocking a lot of stuff as the campaign goes along. Even if you don't end up backing it, it's definitely worth at least a follow to kind of see what they put out there. And you can already see kind of highlighted within what they've already started to unlock. You can also get the original game, so if you played it and liked it but maybe don't own it and want to get both, you can do both in this campaign. That's the other thing I like about Awakened Realms. They do a lot of the time when they come out with a new game and other publishers as well, but they typically, if it's a follow-on to a previous game, if they can, it's usually an option to get that previous game as part of the campaign too. So let's go to, are there. Scroll down. It is body inhabiting system, so you can upload your mind into different body shells. It means you can swap bodies throughout the, as you're playing the game, as you play different times, using unique skills and weapons. Two-way compatibility, so that's kind of nice between, if you do own the previous games and you get these, it sounds like you'll be able to use bodies and classes across both games. Semi-campaign scenarios, some decisions during the scenario unlock new bodies, enemies, and mechanics for future missions. Programming and hacking mechanics, again, it is kind of that cyberpunk world type environment. And then the pricing, pretty standard. Special edition gets you the miniatures. Standard edition gets you the standees. The one thing I will say that I know a lot of people are excited about for this, so components for both editions, they are including dual layered time track board and dual layer player board in both editions. So historically, the standard edition, it wouldn't be that dual layer board. I've seen people on most campaigns, that's one of the big things they are begging, from Awakened Realms, is to either have it as an add-on or in both versions. It sounds like they found a way. They listened obviously to their customers and are putting it in both editions. So kudos to Awakened Realms for that, for listening to the community and giving them what they want. So again, I won't go through everything on this page. Check out, they have a whole bunch of videos that will be on the page, videos and reviews. Let's go to the key features, and then we will. Body inhabiting system we talked about. Programming and hacking mechanic, you can kind of see your player board you'll utilize there. And then semi-campaign scenario, talked about it. And then two-way compatibility, again, if you own the first game or you want to get both games. And then just to give an idea, their miniatures, again, are always top-notch quality. They've got pictures here. Again, not this game, but Lands of Evershade. Actually, today, it'll be yesterday by the time you see this, on Thursday, I just put out kind of a showcase of all the miniatures from Lands of Evershade. But this is what they, one of the things they're definitely known for. They do an amazing job. So check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Back, pass, or just to follow on this one. And then we'll go to the last game that we'll talk about for today. This one is in late pledge / pledge manager, and it's Voidfall, the Resurgence expansion, and the Galactic box reprint. This is coming at you from Mindclash Games. Unleash psionic powers and turn the tide of war. Voidfall is returning with new expansions and a Galactic box reprint. So this is a follow-up to the original Voidfall. From the darkness of Voidfall, we rise awakened, which is just, I've only ever heard good things about the original. I've not played it. It's one I definitely want to add to my library when I can. Best design Mindclash has ever produced. I know this is one of their top games, along with, and you can see some other ones that they've produced. Anachrony is supposed to be just an incredible mechanic of game, and then Trickurian. They actually just did a campaign kind of releasing, I think, a new expansion and add-on for that last year. But for Voidfall, you can get the original game. You can also get just the expansions if that's what you want. The Voidfall Returns. And then they also have some other options in the add-ons where you can get some of their other games, which, again, nice thing that Mindclash typically does is they'll do that if they have the ability to do so. So what is it? Voidfall, 4X style heavy Euro space game focused on skill and strategy, minimal randomness and gameplay and deterministic combat. Overcome the Voidborn in your rival houses and restore Dominium in competitive, cooperative, or solo play. This is like hugely, it adds in an actual campaign mode within this campaign. So 1 to 2 player campaign mode, the new expansion, and then you can get the original and the Galactic box reprint, or an upgrade option if you own the retail edition. New add-ons and upgrades, so playmat, some new metal structures and more. Again, the quality on their games is top notch. I love this too. Hey, what to pledge? If you own nothing, you want to do everything. If you own the Galactic box, you just need to do this. if you own the retail, you need to do this. It's kind of nice. And then the add-ons of what you might want. Again, hugely popular game. I've not played it. I really want to. It adds some new, these Vanguard new core mechanism with the psionics, new houses, texts, and focuses. So it adds a whole bunch of new stuff to the game. And then the new campaign expansion, the last Nova Arch standalone expansions, offers an infinitely replayable campaign with branching storylines, tough choices, and reusable stickers. Shape the fates of the houses, unlock lasting abilities, and face over 100 endings. The last Nova Arch has been created with solo play in mind, but it can be expanded to 2 players with the campaign-specific support house, Praxian. So again, I think they, listening to the community of what people wanted, or just what they wanted, right? They've developed this out to be what the people want to see. What's in the box for the expansion? So more miniatures for the spaceships, the spacecraft, a whole mess of tokens, which again, you can upgrade to metal with some of the add-ons, and then additional modules. There's your Voidborn arsenal components, which is kind of neat, the way that those are designed. But yeah, overall, everything is just really, really well done. This is just opening for Pledge Manager and Late Pledge. I don't know if they've announced kind of an end for that, but I imagine there'll be a little bit of time for it. So let me know your thoughts. Go read through everything. There's so much, as you can see, to dive into on this game. I definitely think this is one I'm going to follow for a bit. And see maybe late in the late pledge, I might go ahead and jump in to get it, to finally add it to my library, because from what everyone has said, it's a game you have to play, you have to own. It's that good. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Have you played this? What are your thoughts? And then for the expansions of the whole thing, back, pass, or just a follow, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. So, thanks for watching. Let me know again what you think of these different games. If there's something out there, if there's a crowdfunding game maybe you're curious about that you want me to spend just a couple minutes talking about, let me know in the comments what it is, and I'll try to do that in a future video. If you don't really like this kind of shorter form, just a few minutes on each video, you'd rather 2 to 3 games and doing a deeper dive on them, let me know that. Tell me what you want to see, and I'm happy to kind of try to make that work. But I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe so you can see the future videos. And again, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody. Bye.